Hello, everyone, and welcome again to the Philly Factor. Well, it's that time of year again. Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters? Oh, you'll pardon the pun in just a moment here. But when things go bump in the night, when the cobblestone streets of Old City become pathways to possible encounters with the spirits of a bygone era, it can only mean one thing. It's time again for Spirits of 76 and the great ghost tours that they run in Old City, Philadelphia. Back to discuss one of the premier tourist destinations this time of year is Jonathan Bari from Spirits of 76 Ghost Tours. The 75-minute walking tour for the entire family has been receiving rave reviews, not only here locally, but the Los Angeles Times raving about the tours. It's billed as one part history, two parts haunt. Joining us is John Bari, and we also have another John with us. I should just change my name for the show. We'll have three Johns on the set. Joining John Bari is John Schifferdecker, native of Wildwood, New Jersey, who serves as a tour guide and paranormal investigator for the Spirits of 76 Ghost Tour. We're going to talk to John Schifferdecker in a moment, but John, I want to welcome you back for the third time here on the Philly Factor.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's an annual tradition to be here with you.
It really is, and I look forward to this because each year you really do push the envelope, if you will. I remember when we did the first show and Spirits of 76 Ghost Tour was just getting started, and a lot of people didn't know what to expect, what was involved, and this year I think you've even topped what you did last year.
Well, thank you. You know, it's having a great team behind us and great stories. You know, historic Philadelphia offers a rich backdrop, you know, from which we can develop the Spirits of 76 Ghost Tour. Mm-hmm. And we like to say we're going to visit more than 20 of Philly's frights and sights to take you on a 75-minute outdoor walking adventure that's family-friendly. It's not a haunted house per se. No one's jumping out at you. Well, maybe not. But it's more so theater of the mind and searching for ghosts on a paranormal experience.
And of course, before we get into the whole paranormal experience with John Schifferdecker, we're going to get to him in a moment. But I mean, you talk about this part of Philadelphia, which is so rich with history, and you sometimes wonder if the walls could talk. And you know, when you take these tours, you're walking in the footsteps of some great American patriots, if you will, and you never know who you might bump into, at least on the tour, you know, for the most part. But it's not a haunted house. We don't want to give the impression that you're going to be walking into Independence Hall and there are going to be a bunch of people dressed up like, you know, the ghost of Ben Franklin or George Washington. You're just touring the historic sites and learning about the geography of Old City and some of the things that may have happened here and some of the haunts that may still be hanging around there.
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take you with, you know, very well-trained tour guides who go searching for ghosts. Mm-hmm. But we tell you the history of the sites. We walk in the Founding Fathers' footsteps. We follow in their footsteps, if you will. And then we hunt for ghosts along the way, you know, looking for certain presence of encounters. But we tell you some of those rich ghost stories that have been handed down over tens of years, hundreds of years in some cases.
Now, you mentioned 20 different locales that you actually pass through or pass around. Of course, I would guess on the northern end of it, it's got to be the Edgar Allan Poe house, right?
Well, you know what? Edgar Allan Poe is a central part of our tour. However, we don't make it over to Spring Garden Street. So we concentrate on the loop principally south of Chestnut Street, and we go to sites such as Independence Hall, we go to Carpenter's Hall, Old St. Mary's, and Old Pine Street Church.
As I said, this is the third time you've been on the program, and each and every time you try to make it newer, better, fresher, if you will. So what have you done this season that perhaps you learned from some of the previous experiences in doing this to make it better for people that are coming out, whether it's the first time or the 101st time to take the tour?
You know, our audience loves to be engaged and interactive with the experience. So we have so many fans that go on our Facebook page regularly and will take pictures on the tour, post them, and then form discussions around what it is that they might have seen on the tour. Mm-hmm. So we really try and work with social media a lot there. The other things we do is we work with 13haunts.com, which is the collection of the 13 best haunted attractions in the greater Philadelphia area. And then this year, for example, one of our ways of giving back is we formed a partnership with McDonald's, whereby they're offering $4 discount coupons through their entertainment value centers, and a portion of the proceeds from those ticket sales actually benefits the Ronald McDonald House. So it's a way for us to give something back.
Well, that's fantastic. And in just a few minutes here, we're going to premiere the trailer for the Spirits of 76 Ghost Tours. I want to say that, to me, in this what would be a short window of opportunity because of Halloween in October, that sometimes some of these things would not get started until October, and October 31st, maybe November 1st, bang, done. It's over and done with. You have, as well as the other 12 haunts as part of the 13 haunts production, if you will, you've managed to extend now what has been a very limited time frame into maybe almost 3 months. If you begin in September and go through November, and I think that makes the experience even better, because there are oftentimes in the middle of September, you're sitting around, there's nothing to do. Hey, why don't we take the ghost tour? Or, it's November and you're like, gee, I wonder if they're still running the ghost tour. Chances are they could come out as early as September and perhaps as late as November to take the tour.
They can actually come out as early as April. We run April through November all year round. And what's interesting about the demographics of the people taking the tours, basically from April through August, it's more so visitors to the Philadelphia area. Mm-hmm. But as we go into the fall months, it really becomes a mixture of visitors but locals then, who are interested in learning a lot of the history and searching for ghosts along the way.
Yeah, I want to mention some of the sites here before we go to the trailer, because I want to make sure that everybody understands that the sites, these 20 locations that you take the tours on or through, are pretty much sanctioned. I mean, everybody's on the same page here. You're not just traipsing through some graveyard, unbeknownst to the people that may be the curator of that graveyard. So you have a great cooperation with these 20 locations, that they know you're coming and when you're coming and what's going to take place there.
Well, we try. I mean, we're an outdoor walking tour. We actually don't go into any of the sites, so we stay on the sidewalks and the public pathways, and we give the history and the folklore or the ghost stories for each of those sites. But a couple of them that we've worked very closely with in the past several months are Old St. Mary's and Old Pine Street Church. And in fact, those were the locales and the sets that we used for our first in a Paranormal Investigation series that we're going to be premiering very shortly.
Okay. What I want to do is give the website, so if people are watching us right now, and it may come up on the screen, if they want more information, they could go to your website, which is spiritsof76.com.
That's correct.
Did I get it right?
Yep.
Okay. And give us an idea of how frequently the tours run during the week, where they begin, where they end, and how people could get lined up to take one of the tours.
Right. The tours run April through November. Our full schedule is online at spiritsof76.com. Typically, we offer tours at 7:30, some nights at 9:30 as well. The month of October, which we're heading into right now, it'll be daily, and then 9:30 over the weekends, as well as a 7:30 show.
Okay. So we've been talking about and teasing what we say in the communications world, teasing the premiere of the trailer for Spirits of 76 Ghost Tour. So don't touch that dial. We're going to show right now for the first time the new trailer for Spirits of 76 Ghost Tour. Here you go.
Philadelphia, the birthplace of America. There are dark secrets that few know. Frightening truths of the supernatural. Stories of witches, treachery, murder, and hauntings. And only one thing is for sure. Where there's history, there are ghosts.
I don't know about you, but I think I saw a few ghosts in that trailer. I don't know. I'm a little scared here. All right. Now, were my eyes deceiving me, John Schifferdecker, or did I see a few ghosts in that trailer?
You definitely saw some spirits and apparitions in the video that you just saw. And that's just an example of some of the places that we visit, not only on our tours, but we actually visited as part of the paranormal investigations that we went to at Old St. Mary's and Old Pine Street Church and Cemetery.
How does a nice young guy like you from Wildwood, New Jersey, get involved with the paranormal?
Well, I mean, there's nothing scarier than Wildwood in the summer, as you may know.
That's true. On the boardwalk, Wildwood in the summer. Yeah. All right. Send your letters to LaSalle TV. I'm sure
but I was very interested in paranormal activity growing up, as I grew up around Cape May, which is one of the most haunted sites in the United States. And as I got older, became a little bit more interested in ghosts and signed up just to start doing tours, around the city. but then actually started, becoming a paranormal investigator of sorts, and going out with equipment and tools late at night, and really actually getting up close and personal with these ghosts and spirits.
Now, is it because there's nothing else going on in Wildwood during the winter that you got involved with, the paranormal? I mean, not much going on.
Yeah, I mean, Wildwood is a bit of a ghost town.
Part of the fun, right?
in the winter, but absolutely, there's a great deal of when you learn the history of Philadelphia, you learn about the grief and the loss and the sadness and the terror that really struck a lot of the community during the 18th century with things like the yellow fever epidemic. So there was a lot of loss in this city. So in a lot of ways, it was a ghost town, and the history speaks to all of the spirits and apparitions that we're fortunate enough to talk about and see and experience on our tours and in the paranormal investigations.
Yeah. Now we didn't see in the trailer, but I did see on YouTube. I think the links that I saw that you and another investigator by the name of Sam, right? Yeah. Are in, is it Old Pine or St. Mary's Grave?
We were in Old Pine Street Cemetery on the clip that you saw.
And there's actually an encounter that has been documented now where Sam feels something or senses something and starts to shake because of the fact
In Old Pine Street Cemetery, we ended up using an electromagnetic field detector and started picking up some strange detection and radiation on some of the tombstones. And then Sam later in Old St. Mary's Cemetery ended up feeling a spirit, a cold spot on her. And our lead paranormal investigator by the name of Michael Tomasetti, he took a picture of her, and an orb appeared on her back where she was feeling this spirit and apparition. We were able to capture everything on camera, and it was terrifying. It was really spooky and really gave us all a new appreciation of the city as a whole.
Now, not for anything, but if that happened to me, I would be running so fast, John, Barry, that I'd probably be at Broad and Snyder right now if that happened to me.
Well, that's why on our tour we provide glow stick souvenirs to everyone who comes. And for those who are a little bit faint of heart there...
Are you saying I'm faint of heart?
We say it wards the ghosts off. For those who are eager, it attracts the ghosts to them.
Yeah. When we first started doing this, and I think on this card here, let me see, I'm not sure, and they're probably... Yeah. On the back of that card, you've come a long way from that picture of Independence Hall, the window where there's an alleged orb in the window of Independence Hall, to what John and Sam have done now in terms of showing, perhaps actual experience with a ghost in the church graveyard.
Right. Well, I mean, when you look at the history of these two sites, for example, so at Old St. Mary's, you've got John Barry, the Commodore of the United States Navy, first Commodore. Different spelling, although it sounds the same as my name. And there's, according to legend, two ghosts that haunt that cemetery. And one is of his wife, who died at the age of 29, and the other is of his brother, who died and was lost at sea. And so when we had the ghost hunters go out there with the equipment, they were able to pick up certain paranormal encounters, if you will, albeit not necessarily identifiable.
Okay. Now, you yourself have not had...
I have not, no.
You have not.
Although I witnessed them having it.
You did.
Yeah. I did,
you did. So when you see something like that, right. I mean, for the person that's sitting here saying like, oh yeah, that's great. That's television. That's how, I mean, what goes through your mind when you see this encounter play out in front of you?
It's theater of the mind, like I like to say. And, for those who might be naysayers or doubters, when you're out there and you actually get to experience it and hold some of the equipment firsthand, like we do on certain ghost hunts that we'll be featuring this year as well, it's food for thought.
Yeah.
And so we're not saying that there are or there aren't, but to each his own.
Yeah. Now, you take the groups out on these tours. They're groups of what? Maybe
they can range up to around 40, 45 people.
Okay. All right. Yep. And the other thing, too, is that oftentimes people want to know, well, since it's a walking tour, I may not be able to walk, or I'm in a wheelchair, or, right. Is the route easily accessible if a person is in a wheelchair?
I mean, the route is fully accessible, albeit some parts are cobblestones. So we advise people of it, but it's primarily a flat surface that, we've had many different people from all walks of life take the tour there.
When you get the reviews, like I alluded to at the beginning of the show, I mean, we're not just talking about the Philadelphia Inquirer. We're talking the L.A. Times, Los Angeles Times. Validating. Not that maybe that's not the right word to use, but giving credibility to a tour like this. And again, you don't know what you're going to encounter, what you're going to see, what's going to happen. But I mean, it's got to make you feel good that major media, not just like the L.A. Times, but Fox and even the local media, support and give you the stamp of approval, for lack of a better term.
Certainly any kind words like that from the major media are very much appreciated. But truth be told, we take every piece of feedback, constructive or positive, very seriously, from TripAdvisor, from the local person who may or may not have loved the tour, to the major media outlets, and we respond and we adapt.
Yeah, I was going to ask that because I know each and every year you probably, on a regular basis, gauge the reaction of people on the tour and either fine-tune, adjust, and make changes that are going to only enhance the overall experience. Do you see a lot of repeat business people that have taken the tour last year, the year before, and they just want to see how you've kicked it up a notch, to borrow a term from Emerald?
Sure. We see people come back all the time. We see them bring other friends, family members. Really depends, but we certainly have a lot of repeat business.
Yeah. I want to go back to the whole paranormal investigation, John, that you have conducted for the Spirits of 76 Ghost Tour. And you never know where these orbs are going to pop up, right, or when, where, why, and how. But what was your reaction when, and we see, again, not in the trailer that we just saw, but you see Sam start to have this encounter. Yeah. You actually are able to take the picture where the orb. I mean, how gratified are you that that this equipment that you're carrying and the things that you're doing to sort of document the fact that there are these spirits out there? I mean, it's sort of like hitting a home run in the World Series.
Incredibly gratifying, absolutely. Yeah. Because what the purpose of the Paranormal Investigations was for us was not only to just go out and see if we could find any spirits, but it was really to verify and enhance our tours. Now when tour groups go and visit Old St. Mary's and Old Pine Street and Washington Square Park, all of these places that we feature on the tour, they're going to know that we were there, and we really experienced these things. And then, if they have a smartphone, they can be taking pictures, of any orbs or apparitions that they catch, posting them directly to our Facebook page.
Ever since we've done this show, this is the third time now, every time I take a picture, I can't help but look for an orb in the photo. And it's all because of you, John Barry, that I can't take a picture now. And and this is funny, I should have brought it along, but I have a picture with Bradley Cooper. Okay? Interviewed Bradley Cooper for radio, and right there in the middle of Bradley Cooper's chest is this light right in the middle. Now, I don't know if it means anything. I don't know if it's the light reflecting in from the window, but I didn't want to tell Bradley that perhaps he's being visited by the paranormal there. Because it may make for a great movie. I don't know. Maybe we get him here to.
You should pitch it next time you see him.
We're glad we've made an impression on your photos, at least.
Yeah, there you go. Now, you've brought some of the equipment that you use in these paranormal investigations. Now, on the regular tour that you're taking, chances are you're not going to be using this. These are that you use, John, to sort of confirm the fact that there's this.
Yes.
Spirit that's there.
Yeah.
But is there a separate tour, and I'm going to have John explain what these things are in a minute, but John Barry, is there a separate special tour for, to get in with the real paranormal experience during the season?
Great question. So we offer the regular tour, which you were referring to, and that we don't take the paranormal detection equipment out. We offer a VIP tour encounter, which is just 6 people that goes. It's a very intimate, close setting. But this year, something brand new, we're going to be doing a ghost hunt at Old St. Mary's, and more details will be revealed in the next week or so about that. But we will have ghost detection equipment there.
Okay, and we can find out more information about that on the website, right?
Absolutely.
Spiritsof76.com.
That's right.
All right. The equipment that you've brought along.
Yes.
Now, if you hold this thing up and it shows an orb or a spirit in here, I'm out the door first.
Run.
All right?
Run.
You just take care of the next 10 minutes of the show, all right? Now, what is this thing that you brought along?
This right here is an infrared thermometer.
Okay.
And what we did with this was we were able to place it on tombstones and various other places, especially around Old Pine Street Cemetery, where we were capturing cold spots on the roof. I mean, we were doing these things in August, and it was picking up negative Fahrenheit. so extremely cold temperatures. And at that point, we started using, some of our other equipment like the EMF reader, the electromagnetic field detector. And what this was doing was it was picking up on radiation, which is where ghosts typically are found to be communicating in places where you wouldn't typically be finding radiation.
Okay.
And there's a clip of Sam and I in Old Pine Street Cemetery, and it actually reached danger when we were calling out one of the names of the spirits on the tombstones. And it's a really interesting sight to now show, my tour groups when they come by the cemetery, because I can say, here's where we encountered this, extremely strange paranormal activity.
So when that thing says danger, you're not scared. You're not like, okay, see you guys.
Well, there was a camera on me, so I couldn't look too scared.
True professional.
I thought people might be watching.
Yeah, true professional.
But it was definitely really scary. It was we were encountering things that we hadn't experienced before, that we didn't understand. But luckily, we were able to. We now have more of a rich understanding of all of the places that we talk about on our tours.
Mm-hmm. In the whole world of paranormal investigation, I mean, when are the spirits trying to communicate with us? Or, I mean, if I have a piece of equipment and that thing's reading danger, chances are that spirit isn't necessarily trying to warm up to me and trying to, I mean, are they trying to tell me that I don't belong here and I should?
It'll vary. It'll definitely vary. We have seen a lot of paranormal activity at places like Holy Trinity Church, which typically what's been seen is just the spirits of two children who are playing. So they're not going to be, harmful to anybody. But you look at Old Pine Street Cemetery, that's known as the Church of the Patriots. And it's actually where the British occupied Philadelphia from September of 1777 till June of 1778. So there's British and Hessian soldiers who died there, and the gates, which are pushed out forward on Pine Street. It's believed that there are British spirits that are not at rest in that cemetery and that they are trying to break free and get out. So when we read danger and we knew that that was an area occupied by British soldiers, we didn't think that they were going to take too kindly to some American paranormal investigators.
I think John may also be somewhat modest here, maybe not want to give it away, but we had this incredible finding on the digital audio recorder at Old St. Mary's. And do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yes, at Old St. Mary's, we were able to actually pick up a couple different sounds. What we were doing was we were taking it around some of the tombstones, especially near Commodore John Barry's final resting place, just to sort of amplify the subtle sounds that we heard in hopes of picking up EVP, which is known in the paranormal investigation world as electronic voice phenomenon. And that's how ghosts typically are communicating, via audio to people. And there was actually the ghost of, or whether or not it was a ghost, but we were able to pick up the voice of someone saying "leave," which
wow.
When
as
people
well as stop.
Yeah, and when people were able to, and all of this was caught on film. You actually do see me at probably my most scared, I think, hearing that on the headphones and us knowing that perhaps we weren't so welcome at this place. So I'm glad that on the tour guides we actually stop outside of the gates of the cemetery, because we definitely want to take care of all of our customers. And
you're okay with this, right? You're having spirits tell you leave, stop. I mean, it's
we're good. We're good. It's really it's a fantastic evening experience. That's great for young couples, seniors, families, students, you name it. We get so many different people who come on the tour because they're all interested.
Yeah. I want to mention here that, while this is just one snippet of the work that you do and how you have continued to grow the product, if you will, and the theming for Spirits of 76 Ghost Tour, there's also a constitutional walking tour that takes place in the warmer months of the year. And I know you do a lot of work with also school groups, and you run an essay contest too, correct?
Yeah. The Constitutional Walking Tour takes a different route, features different sites, and it's very historically focused. It goes to more than 20 of America's most important historic sites right here in Philadelphia, and we're the leading provider of school field trips. Every year we offer the American Freedom Essay Contest around Constitution Day, and it challenges educators to submit essays. And last year I think we had 150 schools with more than 1,000 essays
Wow,
submitted.
that's fantastic. Yeah, that is absolutely great. Again, we want to mention that it's this time of the year that we're talking about the Spirits of 76 Ghost Tour. You can go to spirits of76.com to get more information about the complete lineup of all the tours that are planned from now through November, correct?
Right, and actually we run year-round for private tours
Okay.
as well, and then we'll pick up our public tour season in April of
Yep.
2012.
And these paranormal investigations that you're continuing with, John, we'll be able to see more of it either on the website, spiritsof76.com, or on YouTube. That's where I saw 2 of these things today.
Yeah, we're going to be continuing to perform more paranormal investigations around the city at some of the other sites that we visit on our tours. You know, verify and enhance the tour stops by giving a bit of the history and then seeing what we find in the present day.
And of course, the big news coming out of Hollywood just a few weeks ago is that the movie franchise Ghostbusters has been resurrected. Pardon the pun. And they're coming out with a new Ghostbusters movie, and that only has to, I guess, enhance or help and help you in your marketing. And because people are going to see that movie, and then they're going to say, "Hey, I know there's this ghost tour in Philadelphia. Let's go out and see it."
Well, we certainly would love to hear that. Who are you going to call? Well, they're re-releasing the 1985 classic, I believe, and we hope that really complements what we do here in Philadelphia.
Yeah, and this is definitely the time of year that you want to get out and you want to really experience something like you've never experienced before. And maybe this is the year that I'm going to do it. I don't know, 3, maybe this is the year that I do it. 3rd time that the folks from Spirits of 76 Ghost Tour have been here with us on the program. And again, you do a wonderful job. The reviews are in. And I think this only adds to the excitement, if you will, the great work. And, John, you're a junior in school right now. I'm not going to say where he goes to school. The fact of the matter is, where do you want to go? Where do you hope this takes you?
Working with John on some of the paranormal investigations and being able to document them. I'm actually studying television production myself. So
I won't say where. Down the street.
Humboldt University, we can call it. So I would be interested in the future in being able to be involved in more situations where we're able to document paranormal activity on tape, because it's a really, really fantastic experience for anyone to go through. And I'm really excited for the ghost hunts that are coming up at Old St. Mary's next month, because people getting to actually use this equipment is really a treat.
Well, I want to thank you both for being with us.
Thank you very much, Paul.
Till the next time, my name's Paul Perrello. Thanks for being with us here on the Philly Factor.